Hi, my name is Nir, and I lead the product team at TraceLoop, which it's an AI observability platform. And every day at 9 a.m., my team and I get a Slack message with important activity from our industry about competitors and the major labs, anything important that we might want to be aware of or react to. Did anyone raise money? Did anyone release anything important? And as a product leader, that's a lot of what you do. You gather information, you build up your context to improve your intuition and your ability to make decisions. And I think a cool thing about my implementation is that I didn't use any super expensive agency or signed up for another SaaS. I created an automation that fits my needs, and it took me a couple of hours and a few more iterations. And I wanted to share it with you. I'm going to share the JSON with you at the end of this video. You can download it and use it for yourself. But also, I wanted to share it so that you may get inspired, because what I'm often hearing is that there's a big gap between how exciting and compelling these capabilities are of these models as they're getting more and more smart. But then at the same time, people struggle to really incorporate them into their day-to-day to make something that is economically useful and productive for them. So I wanted to give my 2 cents and show what I built, and maybe it's useful for you, or maybe it inspires you to do something that is unique to your use case. So let's dive into the automation. Okay, you can see it here. There are 2 parts. The first part is very simple. I signed up to a bunch of newsletters from the industry, from competitors, anything that might have information that I will find useful. Gmail has an ancient built-in capability to tag incoming emails based on some heuristics. So I tag relevant emails that come in. I then built this agent that takes in every email, tries to determine if it has any interesting intel in it. If it doesn't, it ignores it. And if it does, kind of processes it and distills it to a format that would be easy for me to use in a follow-up step, and stores it into a newsletter archive, which is a Google spreadsheet. Try to keep it scrappy to not get tempted to over-engineer this, which is very hard. So this is the first part. The second part is kind of like the meat of the thing. This is the automation that runs every day at 9 a.m. It goes through a list of my competitors, which is also a different sheet in that same Google document, and it loops over each one of them. For each competitors, it has the name and the URL. It searches for news with Perplexity. I use Perplexity because I find that it does a good job of scouting the real live internet. However, it really struggles to determine whether a specific item is indeed recent or not. It took me a long time actually to get that part to work, to not report older news items. So like something that was reported yesterday, but it announces something that happened 3 months ago, or something that happened on this date, but in a previous year. So I'm using Sonnet, which is kind of quite a capable model for this relatively simple task, but apparently it's not so trivial. So I've been getting good results ever since I switched to Sonnet. And then it takes the summary of this loop and continues to the next competitor. Once it's done, it aggregates all of them, does a few more things in terms of formatting, and sends it all to Claude to Opus to generate today's daily digest. And it also stores it in an archive. Now, this archive and this email automation. What are their roles? So I started out just with this automation, and honestly, I advise you do the same. But I had a few problems. So from one day to another, it might report the same news item as a breaking news, if it's important enough, and that was a bit noisy. And also, I found that there are many things that happen that get reported in newsletters that I would miss out if I only relied on what's publicly available with web searches. So, in addition to this loop of Perplexity, I also input the newsletters from the past 24 hours. And I give yesterday's digest as context so that the follow-up feels more natural and kind of builds on top of it. Feels like it builds from day to day and not doesn't live in a vacuum. And honestly, it took me a little while for this to be useful and not just noise. But today I can honestly say that it's the first thing I do, and I will often share it with the team. And some folks from the team also notice the update before I do, even sometimes, and that would spark a discussion. And yeah, that helps me do more than I would have been able to do otherwise, which I think is kind of like the promise of these tools. And it's been really useful for me, and it helps me feel confident that I'm staying on top of things. And, the developers are working way faster than before. Maintaining the roadmap and the following features is harder than it was before Cloud Code and all the other tools. And I also do the design work, which has not been affected by these tools. I don't think that my productivity as a designer has increased the same way that my kind of opportunity discovery or product management role has changed. And so whatever I can do to make myself more useful, more effective, is critical for me to remain on top of my job. And I will also say that another thing is, once you start building these automations and start experimenting with these tools, I have other automations that didn't stick around, you start getting a taste for what is possible, and it opens up your imagination. And that in itself is super valuable, because you will find naturally, you'll find more opportunities to leverage these tools and these capabilities. So I just want to give a shout out to Owen Blanc, as my previous boss at Walnut. He showed me his automation and inspired me to try to build my own. And I can honestly say that it's been useful and productive. So I'm going to drop the JSON file in the comments for you to download, play around with it yourself, and let me know if it's been useful, if you'd like to see more of these, and yeah, catch you soon. Thanks.